Good morning, good morning, good morning to all of my subscribers and viewers. I would like to first thank you for viewing and subscribing to my channel. I just want to let you guys know that I really appreciate it. Keep on watching. I know that I'm not on a lot before, like I was before, but I've been busy trying to take care of a lot of business and things like that. So, excuse me, but I am going to continue to come up with good topics that we can talk about and discuss. So, please keep subscribing and viewing, and tell your friends and your family members if this works and resonate for you or someone else. You know, maybe it can help them out, even if it doesn't help you. But um, let's get to it. All right. So today's topic is called What Works for Them May Not Work for You. What works for them may not work for you. And I came up with this topic because what I see a lot of times is bad advice. When friends, family members, co-workers, or just someone that you care about comes to you to explain something that is going on in their life. Sometimes what we take for venting, um, and we what we take uh, out of the venting situation, and we automatically think, I'm sorry, that the person really wants advice, and then we give them that advice based off of our own experience. So it may not be good advice all the time, and it worked for you, but it may not work for the other person. All right. So I always give advice based off of my own experience and the things that I know about. Um, I can't give advice if I don't go through things myself. So let's talk about a friendship type of thing. Okay, let's say you and your friend, you're going through something, and it's a argument that kind of breaks your friendship. Okay, and you go to a mutual friend or a family member, and you're telling them about the issue. Okay, one of the things that I notice that people will do a lot of the times is they tell their side. They only give just their side of the story, and what that makes the person become is basically a narcissist. You become a narcissist when you do that, and you may not uh, become one right away, but in time, if you constantly just tell your side and you're the only person that want to be right, then that's a narcissist stage. That just means that you see no wrong in whatever you do or say. So that's what I see a lot of the times. So you go to your family member or friend and you're telling them about your best friend. You're saying, "Hey, look, this is what happened. Um, they did this. They said this. They did not have any real raw, or they just had raw emotion towards me. Period." So everything you're saying to that person, are you telling them your side and what you may have played a part in? And then they give their advice instead of just listening. In a situation like that where it's friends, what we don't understand is the core values of the friendship. The one true core value that stands out to me the most, and I believe these are the three basic core values: respect, loyalty, and trust. Okay, it's almost like a real relationship: respect, loyalty, and trust. So when something's knocked out of that box, we got a problem. Okay, but when a friend or a family member comes in and tells you, "Oh, just leave them alone, don't say nothing to them," First off, you don't know to what aspect that relationship was. Okay? Those friends could have been friends for a very long time. So for you to say, leave them alone, that's not right. Okay? Back up a little bit, think about it, something like that, maybe some type of good advice, depending on where the situation is and where it may end up. Okay. So, because you can't just tell somebody to leave somebody alone, that can cause somebody to go into anxiety, stress. They may hurt someone or hurt themselves. They can hurt something, you know. I mean, a lot of my friends, they got kids. So I wouldn't just tell them to get lost. You know what I mean? I don't know how that would make them feel. They could possibly take it out on their kids. I mean, I don't know. So, what I don't do is I don't say things like that to people. If you come to me with a friendship problem, I would rather just listen. Okay? Now, if both parties are there, that's when you open up. That's when you talk about it. That's when you are able to try to clear the air a little bit. You may not come to a mutual agreement, but you'll come to some type of agreement where um those friends will definitely be able to see eye to eye before they leave. Okay. We have a circle, and in my circle we call each other brothers. Okay. So I have quite a few brothers. Okay. And there's about maybe 3 or 4 of them that um I consistently keep in touch with. All right. So years ago, this was like before I got married the second time, right? Um, 2 of my brothers had issue, and one of them was a very needy person. He always wanted to be around me. He always wanted to just talk to me, and he always just wanted to hang out with me. When it came time to hang out with everyone else, it was a problem. All right. So, one of the things that I did was I tried to do things with all of us together. When I couldn't do things with us together, then that became a problem. Excuse me, I'm just going to take a drink. That became a problem. So, one of the things that I would always do is if there was a conflict or something going on, I would bring us all together. We would not talk behind each other's back unless one of them was venting to me. Okay. So, and it wasn't really talk. I mean, I would say a little bit and then I would get us all together. That's the type of person I am. I don't like conflict. That's just not me. You know what I mean? I am a peacemaker, and not a troublemaker. So, um, that's one of the things that I would try to do. But there was a bad issue between these friends because one, needed a job and the other got the other a job. And the one did something to the other one at work where I guess there was some type of snitching to the boss or something like that. Um, and they both called me up. So what I did was I vented to my fiance at that time. I vented to her, but I did not say anything to neither one of them. What I tried to do when the time came was I tried to get them together. I believe they squashed it, but now they're not even cool. So for me to get them in a room together, it would probably have to take something drastic to happen or something special to happen. And it's kind of hard because I don't know how to do that. And they're both 2 of my closest friends. They're both my brothers, so it's kind of hard to really get them together. And that's the problem. That's where we come in at as friends and give good advice or bad advice. You know, And because it works for me to be cordial with all of my friends and to keep a balance there between all of them, because one thing that sticks out between me and all of them, the loyalty. Okay. Now, a lot of my friends are Virgos, which I'm that value is already there. It's inside of them. So I really don't have to say a lot. I know that if I get in any type of trouble, they're going to come. So the loyalty part of my friendship outweighs anything. They all know that they can call me at any given time and I'll talk to them. That's the one good thing about it. I'll listen to them. That's probably why I'm like that ear for a lot of them. So that was an issue. I handled it that way. I did not tell the other one, oh, you should have been mad or something like that. Actually, I did. I did say that. I'm sorry. I did say, I would have been upset because I thought you were my homeboy. And then I told the other one, yeah, but you shouldn't have gotten upset like that. You probably, I balanced it out to the point where I did not throw neither one of them under the bus. I let both of them know where they were wrong at. So they handled it where at least they were able to work together a little longer. And I believe one quit and then the other one stayed for a while. And then eventually they both got other jobs. So that's the end story of that situation. Let's take it to relationships, okay? Um, on a relationship type of thing. And let's just say that because I look at it like this: if you're living together, that is a premarital thing. So you're already almost there as far as marriage. All right. So the commitment is strong, especially if you have a family already. It's already there. All right. So it's treated like a marriage. You just don't have the title. All right. So if you are together and you're in a committed relationship, you're living together, and everything like that. All right. There's something that happens, whether you argue, fuss, fight, whatever. All right. And you go to someone that you care about, it could be a family member or a friend, to vent to. Now, what happens in a relationship thing is people have gone through so many relationships in their life, so they constantly give advice based off of their own experiences within those relationships. Okay. um and it's really not that's not good advice at all. I probably would take advice from someone that is going to be mutual first. All right. And what I mean by mutual is you're going to level it off with both parties. You want to see it from her standpoint and his standpoint. All right. And then not really giving the advice, but saying, hey, look, I think you was wrong and this is, and she was wrong here. I wouldn't even say anything. I wouldn't say anything or what you should do, but this is where you were wrong at. I think that people need to point out the wrong first and allow other people to handle that wrong. Make it right. That's it. I think if they hear that from someone else, then they're able to actually analyze it a little bit better. Sometimes you got to hear things to actually be able to grasp hold of what someone is saying. You got to get the whole concept down. So if you're um, visually seeing it, or I should say you're visually reading something, sometimes it's better to hear it than to actually read it yourself, because you're like, what did I just read? I don't even understand that. But if you hear it again, then you're able to understand, you know excuse me, grasp hold of it. So I think that's what happens a lot of the time. I think that especially with family, they become a little bit more personal with in the relationship, especially when it's dealing with their loved one. You know, a lot of families tend to uh, go one sided. You know, for instance, I've been married twice. And I've seen that happen twice in my situation where the family of my opposite side would definitely take sides with their family member. You know, not to say that they should not take up for their family member, or it's not really taking up. I would say that it should be um, basically looking out for them. And you can look out for your family member without giving advice or trying to make them feel like they're right. There's a way of doing that. Um, I'll give you an example. My mom is very mutual. She's a mutual person. Um, with us, there's three of us that's been married. Um, Two that are still married. So with my mom, she loves her daughter-in-law. She loves her son-in-law, and that loyalty will play out until the marriage is over. So she's not going to tell um, her daughter-in-laws anything like, "Oh, I don't like you," or "You did this and you did that, so stay away from me," type of attitude, because it's a marriage first. So that's not her job. You know, her loyalty lies within the marriage, not with just her sons or her daughter. Okay? It lies within the marriage. So that means two became one. So that's both parties. My mom is very mutual. You know, what she tries to do is stay away from the conflict type things, but do she cater to us when we're going through it in our relationships? Yes, she does. It's one of the things I love about her, because that's where that nurturing comes back in. That's where I'm a mother first, so I gotta tend to my, I gotta tend to my child because they're hurt. So I see that and I say I want to emulate that within my own relationship, my own marriage with my kids, when they get older, and be able to say, all right, I have to be mutual, because if I'm not mutual, what ends up happening is that other person on the other side feels like I'm on the out. Okay. And they get confused because now, didn't I just marry this person and now this is my family too? So when you do something like that, then we're not family. It's easy for me to call you mother-in-law and father-in-law, but are you really my mom, or are you really my dad? Because when that person marries you, you become a part of that family. That is your mother, that is your father. That means you give me the same advice you give your child. That's it. You know, I said this in some of my earlier videos, and one of the things I thank God for is my family honors marriage. That's it. Point, plain, simple. We honor marriage to the end. Okay? So if someone comes to my mom with, everything that's going on, she's going to listen, but she may not give any advice. That's how she is. Um, I remember in my situation, one of the things that, and earlier on in the confrontation situation, excuse me, earlier on, my mouth is so dry. Um, she would talk to my wife at the time, and she would definitely be able to listen to her. But one of the things she wouldn't do is she would not tell me what they talked about. I didn't ask either. She never, and till this day, I don't know what they talked about. I don't even know what she talked about with my first wife. And they've had a lot of conversations, so she will not tell. She's that type of person. That's the type of person you want to be able to vent to. You need to find a mutual person if you're going to vent to them about any type of issues in your life and in their life. Okay? Because people are going to give you the advice based off of their own life experience. Okay? There was a lot of bad advice that was given in my situation, and I'm looking at it like, and I'm like, phew, people throw around that stone, and their situation may not be no better than mine. So you can't just say this is what this person should do based off of what you see. Nobody really knew a lot about what was going on in, my household, but based off of what they seen, that's what they went off of. So I had to deal with it. There was nothing that I could do about it. I had to sit there and take it. But at the end of the day, I said to myself, all right, this is what I have to deal with. This is what I was dealt with. I have to take it and move on, strive. And that's what I did. I picked up the pieces myself. Healing was not as difficult because I wanted to self heal first. Excuse me. I wanted to self heal. That was the most important thing to me this time around. Um, and then after I self healed, I had to sit back, reflect, and analyze what happened, um, how it happened, if there was anything that I can do to change it. Okay. So that's the biggest part right there, because you keep beating up on yourself about even a friendship or a relationship. You constantly beat up on yourself. That's when you start to ask other people, what should I have done? What could I do? Is there anything I could do at this point in time? That's when that advice comes in, because you're playing it out in your head, and what you're saying to yourself is the shoulda, coulda, wouldas, and now what's next? That's what you're constantly asking yourself. What is next? What am I going to do? How am I going to take control back in this situation? When I figured it out that I don't want to control the situation, I want balance in the situation. And that's where that mutual comes in. That's where that person that you're going to talk to has to try to find a common denominator for the both of you where it's balance. You want it to be even. That's it. And if we can't be even, just give me a little bit that I can work with. I didn't argue after a while. I did not fuss after a while. I just said, whatever advice that I was getting, I took. I did, because it was spiritual advice. So that core foundation of spiritual advice versus worldly advice, I said, okay, I'm going to do it. When the friends came in and they gave their advice, some of them I just did not even take at all. I was just like, I'm not going to do that, because I have to remember the situation within itself. So we as people have to learn how to sometimes not even go searching for advice. I think I said this: go talk to someone that's going to keep your information personal, like a counselor. It does not have to be a specific professional. You can go see, well, I'm sorry, you should go see somebody professional. It does not have to be someone in the church, because I know some people, and I say that because some people are not religious, so it does not have to be someone in the church. It could be someone outside of the church. Go and see someone. You need to talk. You have to get it out. There is no way you can keep that inside of you and continue to move on in your life. I guarantee you're going to continue to run into that same problem. because it's boggled up inside of you. You haven't even released it yet. So what do? You move on to the next thing or the next relationship and you think it's going to work. It's not going to work. It's not. Especially if you have not resolved that issue yet. It ain't going to work. I don't care how good it looks. I don't care how much you want to make it seem like it's supposed to be like this. You can make the person feel good by buying them things. You can, spend all the money in the world, and I guarantee it ain't gonna be the way it needs to be. Because you know why? Even within that friendship, you know why it ain't gonna be? Because love, respect, loyalty. Somewhere down the line, you're gonna always think about that. There's one thing out of those three things that is gonna stick out the most. Now, if you got all three, okay. But there's one that is going to stick out the most. And it's going to make you think, what is it that I'm missing? So I need my friend back. I need my relationship back. I got to put that back into play. I got to go call my husband or my fiance or my boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever. You know what I mean? I got to go call my best friend. I got to make it right. Don't allow years, because that's time. Time you can't get back. That is it. Once it's done, it's done. You cannot get that time back. You're done. You're stuck. And you're sitting there wondering, why did I let this happen? I could have allowed myself to fix it a long time ago. I told somebody just the other day, I'll be 37 at the end of the summer. 37 years old. Okay. I know I don't look it. Thank you. Thank you very much. But what I've realized in this lifetime as I continue my journey is that time is everything to me. What I don't like is anybody wasting my time. Don't waste my time. Don't play with my time. If it's not for you, please just tell me it ain't gonna work. That's me. When you play with my life, you're playing with my time. Because that's the time that God gives me. And sometimes it can be short or it can be long lived. But if I choose to give you some of that time, I expect at least honesty in the situation. You could be my friends, or I'm just going to say my brothers. You can be my biological brothers. You can be my sister. You can be my mom, my dad, whatever. Do not waste my time. It's not worth it to me. That's me. That's Kenton. I said this to someone else. I am not a toy. You cannot take me off the shelf, play with me, and then put me back on the shelf. I will not be played with. Not like that. Value your time with the person that you care about. I don't care if they're your friend. I don't care if they are in a relationship with you, whatever. Value that time because time is short. You don't know how long you have left here on this side. You're going to live forever. You are, whether it's spiritually or physically. You definitely will live forever. And I shouldn't have gave you an option there. There's only one way to live forever, and that is spiritually. So your spirit will live on. The physical round is over when God says it's over for you. That's it. And I've been seeing a lot of crazy things happen in this world. Don't waste time, people. Don't waste time. Give it your all now. Make that all right. I love you. God bless. What works for them may not work for you. Peace.